Patreon member shout out. Do you ever feel like a misfit? Everything inside you is dark and twisted. Oh, but it's okay to be different. Cause baby, so am I, so am I, so am I, so am I. Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a Veve Omi update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. So I had a question, which I guess I'm taking video requests now. They happened. It was Veve Value happened to say that, hey, it's a video idea. I'd love to hear you talk about why most of the Disney NFTs are stagnant versus, say, the Todds and Supermans, etc. I know they're counted as the blue chips, but would like to hear what you think and if over time the Disney moments will go up, excluding Walt. I'm not sure why he's excluding Walt, but anyway. I've said this a lot of times in streams before, and if you've heard this multiple times, I apologize for sounding like a broken record, but that first set, you know, the Riso, the Todd, and the Becky Clooney, that whole first Batman set, no matter what happens, no matter how many amazing brands like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter or Pokemon come in, they will never be able to replace that first set. That first set is so many layers to it. And, Batman in general, as of right now, it seems that maybe with the exception of the one with Nightwing, I think that's series 4, the sets get a little bit less and less desired as you go on, because the second series has the first appearance of the Joker, the next one has first appearance of Harley Quinn and Penguin, the next one has Nightwing, which just reached over 2K before the app closed. I don't even know what the fifth one had. I barely remember. I sold it along with most my other Batman stuff to get my second Riso. But that's why the Risos and the Todds have gone up. Superman is the first appearance. If you take a look at what is the first in each category, and I don't just mean DC. You have that first Batman set, but that's a good place to start. The second and third and fourth and fifth ones that they can't shine the first set's shoes. They just can't. But Superman is the first one in the Superman set. Then you have we don't really have any DC Direct or DC CoverGirls Part 2, but if you look at Harley Quinn, the old versus new. What was the first one to come out? I have the Harley Quinn Red and Black series, or Red, Black, and White, whatever it's called. That one does phenomenally better than the second series. Why? Well, partly because I think it is better artwork, partly because I think it's a lot cooler, but it's also the first set. And that's just the first of that one. And it has the first season that it was part of also has a lot less mints than the second set. So there's a lot going for the first of the Harley Quinn and a lot working against it. But other things like Alligator Loki, like Storm, which is, Alligator Loki is Loki. You have Storm, which is, the first one in X-Men. Then you have Groot, which is, first of Guardians of the Galaxy. Deadpool, which is the first one in Deadpool. It's not, hey, here's Marvel, and then here's all of these things. No, each character seems to be in its own thing right now. The only two that I can think of that really don't follow that is Spider-Man. You have the first appearance Spider-Man, which does... that's one of the best things on the app. Then you have the Ben Reilly Spider-Man, which is a first appearance, which does still very well, partly because the Ultra Rare has only 616 mints, which is very, very low. It's not a lot at all. And then you also have the third one, which is the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. And that is, it doesn't do as well. It's still a first appearance, and it's still cool, and we kind of see that featured every now and then. But it gets less popular as the sets go on. And you see that with Captain America also. You see that the first one did really well. The giant statues, they're animated, they look fantastic. And then the zombie Captain Americas don't look that well. They look okay. I think they're cool. I have the set. I think that's great. I think the Zombie Hunter Spider. I think eventually that could be a mini game when you have the zombie Captain America team versus zombie Spider-Man team. That would be pretty awesome. Even in Civil War, I'm not including the movie. I'm talking about the comics, where Spider-Man starts out on not Tony Hawk, Tony Stark's team. Eventually switches over to Captain America. Spoilers if you haven't read that 15-year-old comic. Anyway, so there's reasons why a lot of the first ones really go up. Whereas the Disney moments, you take a look at those gold moments, and they're all in one line, all together. So it was a lot thrown at us at once. And there is some people saying, well, they're all first. This is the first Homer Simpson. This is the first Disney princess with Elsa. This is the first, Iron Man, even though we've had Marvel before. I guess that would be the first Avenger. Throg is part of the pet Avengers. And Groot is really just a guardian, of the galaxy, about to be named as Guardians of the Galaxy because Thor's traveling with them. But all of those, they were kind of thrown into one thing, and in the future we'll just see all of them as first appearance Disney's. But Homer, it really is not synonymous with Disney. It's really more with Fox. Iron Man and the Avengers logo are more synonymous with Marvel, even though Disney owns both of them right now, just the way it is. Elsa, I think, is probably probably the best one. That did move a little bit. That moved from 900 to a little over 1100 before the app closed. But the Avengers logo, Iron Man, those have stayed pretty steady. They've stayed pretty, low. They're both under 1,000. Homer Simpson's at like 600. That hasn't moved at all. I think why Homer Simpson hasn't moved at all, or at least that much in like a month or two, is because why James Bond hasn't done well, and why Star Trek hasn't done well, is because a lot of the fans are really older. It was great when I was a kid, and I remember when I was younger, you no longer got in trouble for saying, like, don't have a cow man. You no longer got in trouble for quoting Bart Simpson. Really, in the 80s, people, certain states tried not to show it. There was, whatever. But a lot of that really happened 30, 40 years ago. And, as Simpsons, they lost a couple of writers and whatever, it really hasn't been as good in 20 plus years. It's still running, and I always check out the Halloween episode they have every year, but for the most part it's nowhere near as good as it was. They had so many layers of jokes, and so that's why I think Homer Simpson hasn't stayed that often. And again, also because Iron Man and the Avengers logo, and also the Bart skateboard is just that's a thing. That is not a character. That's a thing. The Avengers logo is a thing. Iron Man, I think, is because we've already had so many, Marvel things out beforehand that are animated and that look different. I get it. This is gold-plated, but it's not animated. I'm happy that we have him. I have the Iron Man logo, or I have Iron Man. I have the Avengers logo, but I do not have the. I am a little saddened that we didn't get him in his mock armor, like secret rare proton cannon. Like I'm a little upset that we don't have that, or at least yet. Maybe that might come out. Maybe War Machine. Maybe that comes out. We have proton cannon with him. The Pizza Planet truck, again, that's more of an object. That's a thing. That's not really a human or a character, even though you see it in every episode. Wall-E is currently. I didn't really care too much for that movie, and I know I comment down below if you think I'm like Satan or you think I'm like a Grinch or something for really not liking that. But I love Star Wars. I'm actually surprised I don't have a Star Wars tattoo. But, the golden moments giving us a gold C-3PO. Okay, that makes sense. Golden R2. All right. I can understand that. If that was like a Yoda, or if that was a, Boba Fett or something else, that probably would do better. But it's just like C-3PO, no kid says C-3PO is their favorite. R2 is kind of kid friendly. R2 is really cool. He can, like shoot out fire. He has messages, and but again, they are droids, and C-3PO did have a little bit of an Oscar moment in the last movie. He's like, I'm looking at my friends, like my family, and I get that, but there's not too many things that they say that are really quotable. I mean, R2 doesn't make any human quotes. plays certain things that other people have said. But I think that's why. I think it's just that they are not the best of their whole company that they're a part of. You know, they are not the best characters for Star Wars. Homer Simpson, again, that can get a little old, or the older people more like it than are more nostalgic for it than we are. Even for people like me, late 20s, early 30s, that they liked it when we were younger. Sure, we had laughs, but really more nostalgic for other things. You know, Simpsons had been on for like 10 years before I really ever saw it. You know, that's 10 years of things you have to try to catch up on. And then, like I said, Wall-E is still pretty new. The skateboard, the Avengers logo. So, and Iron Man being one of the things that people love now, but it was, like I said, it's not animated. It's not like one of those other drops that we had. So I think that's why. And again, this is just my opinion. I could be completely wrong, and you could say that, okay, well, actually, you're wrong because of X, Y, and Z. And comment down below if I am and why you think I'm wrong, and I answer every YouTube comment. But that being said, you know, I have an Elsa. I have and what I think Elsa falls into is that, you know, people that really, really like her, I think I'm one of the outliers, that the exception. I think the rule is if you're like 30, you know, late 20s, early 30s, maybe you don't, and you're a guy, maybe you're not really into like a Disney princess that's a musical also, and you probably got tired of your girlfriend singing "Let It Go," you know, like all the time. Or if you have kids, maybe it's like, you know. So I love her. She's great, but she's not even a decade old. You know, she's not really old enough to be nostalgic yet. Even though I love it, and it's the whole phenomenon, and there's probably millions of views of John Travolta mispronouncing Edema Menzine. You'll know what I mean if you watch that Grammy or the Oscar episode. So I have those, and you know, if someone were to tell me, hey, what do you think about selling your reso? You know, one of them anyway, for so you can get a whole bunch of Disney moments. So you can get, you know, let's say 10 Iron Man, you know, 4 Elsa, and another Avengers logo. I'd be like, yeah, that might not be a bad idea. You know, or maybe that's okay. That can be cool. You know, that and like another Homer. Like maybe that. I mean, this had, you know, like 2x'd in the last week. It was like 3x in the last like 4 weeks. You know, the reso. So maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to go and sell that, and you know, after you've already, you know, 2 or 3 extra money, and put it elsewhere to something that hasn't mooned yet, because you've seen everything else moon. Well, what are they waiting for with this? I think that I probably wouldn't sell the reso right now, even if somebody said like, hey, I'll give you, you know, 2 million omi for it, which the reso is currently worth a little bit more than that. I don't know. Maybe that would be a better deal than buying the golden moments. But again, this is just my thoughts. Everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone, check out Star Helix, Wendy Stibalis, Kyle Willson, and Golden Assets on the YouTube, and at Not Star Helix, at Hey David Don, and at EQ_crypto on the Twitter. Everyone say bye bye to Dashi. Bye bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Goodbye. Meow, 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 meow. Wow.